So what I'm going to do today is the 6th of December 2025. It is Saturday. It is 13:24 Indian Standard Time. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to ask the pendulum whether there's anybody here who wants to talk. I'll relate to a very strange incident also, but I'll do it via the pendulum. That'll be better. So I want to know, is anyone over here? Anybody willing to talk on the pendulum, cutie pies? This pendulum is not moving with lots of force. Who am I talking to? File name cat, are you here, baby? Sweetie pie? You JAYA.ADVANI? No, were you born as JAYA.ADVANI 1975, sweetheart? Is mama over here? Mrs. Anita Merchant, the real one who's no more in the body, who has moved into the spirit world. Both of you are over there. Papa has returned in some fetus. I understand he has already taken birth on earth. So has Kailash auntie. So Kailash, Kanaya Lal, Kiran, Anil, Sunil. All of these have returned with some others. दूसरों के साथ भी आ गए हैं. Okay. Now I want to know, is Rohika with you? The real Mrs. Rohika Chagla Mistry is here. Not here. Okay, then the one who was moving the pendulum very slowly, is that a third party other than Anita Merchant and JAYA.ADVANI? Is she one of the clones of Varsha? Is she one of the clones of Shalina Hundalani? Is she one of the clones for Rohika Chagla Mistry? She is one of the impoverished girls who shapeshifted for Mrs. Rohika Chagla Mistry. The girl who was moving very slowly initially, or the boy who was moving very slowly, was that in this birth, was that a boy who moves very, very, very slowly? Were you a boy in this birth? You were a boy? You were what? Born in your original birth? No. Were you shape-shifting for anybody? On earth in this birth, were you shape-shifting for anyone? Can I ask you? Were you born in a good family during this birth? This last birth that you had, were you born in a good family? You were born in a good family? This morning, can I relate what dream I was shown? With your permission, can I? Because the thing is, I have to tell them, otherwise they will not understand what is it. Their own children are at stake. There is no shame in it. You did anything wrong? Did you do anything wrong by free will? Did something wrong happen with you? So if something wrong happened with you, you must tell the world about it, so that other people don't go, they are more careful with their children, and youngsters are more careful. So do I have your permission to discuss what I was shown this morning? None of us know who you actually are. We don't know who you are. So do I have your permission to discuss what I was shown this morning in my sleep? Am I the person who did anything wrong to you? Did my Atma in this body or somebody looking like me, I don't know, but did my Atma do anything wrong to you? Was it a boy who did something wrong to you? With you were there some other girls also? Were you wearing a khaki pant and shirt, long sleeves? You all were wearing khaki, long sleeve, long pants, khaki and long sleeve shirt. You all were working in something that is your uniform of some kind. Whoever did wrong to you is from your own country. Now that you have left out of your body, now that you've left the body and gone, you can understand who was from which country. Now you know who is who, no matter how they look, no matter what they are wearing. So were they from your home country who did this to you? Was this done to you at your home country? This was done to you at your own home country. What we saw, the khaki pant and the khaki shirt, which is full sleeve button down shirt. The people wearing that pant and shirt, were they wearing your home country uniform? They were wearing your home country uniform. But they themselves are not from your home country. They were pretending to be wearing the uniform of your home country. So, would you like to say they are actually criminals pretending to be wearing the uniform? Was the place India where this happened? Was it one of India's neighbors where this happened? Was it the neighboring country of India where this happened? It was one of the neighboring countries of India. What I noticed is everybody's skin was fair over there. They were all fair-skinned people. Anyway, they killed you. So you've gone to the afterlife. You want me to do a scrabble throw to know who you could be? So I'll just do the scrabble throw after I explain to them what happened. Okay? Okay. You gone to the higher realms? You're at Swarg and above? Okay. Good. So let me just explain to them what happened. So what happened this morning? When I was sleeping, I was shown somebody put on me. I'm the perpetrator in my dream. I don't know what is happening, but I think somebody got raped. One boy and two girls. बहुत strange था. और उसको bend over करके, I don't know what it was, but I was wondering how these people are not scared because they are wearing the uniform. बोलो ऐसे तो कोई नहीं behave करता है. Nobody really behaves this way. And frankly, rape is a state of disempowerment. जो कोई भी rape करे, it is a very disempowered state of being or a very disempowered atma. That means nobody actually wants you और तुमको forcefully कुछ करना पड़ता है to feel good about yourself. Generally, when you have eligible boys, you have eligible girls. प्रपोजल पे प्रपोजल आता है, ना बोलना पड़ता है, and then when the appropriate person comes along, you get married. Or then, even if it is the case of a girlfriend and a boyfriend, if you're an eligible bachelor and an eligible bachelorette, कहीं ना कहीं पे only when it is a mutual like does a relationship form, a friendship forms, and then it moves forward. ये जो different kind of behavior was very strange. So anyway, I have put it out. Whatever I was shown, the perpetrator was put on me. हम बोलो हम तो लड़की है, how I'll do this? There's a boy over there and 2 girls, so it's not making sense. Now where is it that they wear khaki pants and a khaki shirt, button down, full sleeve? That's all I saw. I don't know, you find out. Long sleeve khaki, long sleeve khaki pant, long sleeve khaki button down shirt also. I didn't see anything else other than that, khaki and khaki. Okay, so since we will just find out what this is, I don't know whether we get an answer or not. Try karte hain. Okay, so Shirdi Sai Baba, to help this person and to get little clarity on what the issue could be, please give me some scrabble pieces in case we can identify what exactly happened, where it happened, who it is. I don't know, देखते हैं. That's what I've got. सरदार, I don't know what this is. हमको तो नहीं लगता है ऐसे कुछ होवे. यहाँ पे अरदास भी है. I would have not guessed. सरदार कैसे हो सकता है? We used to go and have Sardar Pav Bhaji. We used to like it a lot at Tardev. But other than that, I'm not sure what this can be. I don't understand. ये कहाँ से आ गया है? From where? सरदार साउथ अफ्रीका के साउथ अमेरिका, or a Sardar who was pretending to be the IG but connected with D instead, or somebody connected with D pretending to be the Sardar IG. क्योंकि यहाँ पे जो है एक्चुअली विद द सरदार कम्युनिटी अरदास भी है, RSS अरदास. I'm not understanding the situation, but if you can make out what this is, then you should be able to make out what it is. The RSS is very much out of RSS is very much an Indian thing. लेकिन ये कहता है ये जो हुआ ये इंडिया में नहीं हुआ. Indian police wears white uniform on the top, white blouse and khaki pant. I don't think anyone wears khaki and khaki. ऊपर से भी khaki, नीचे से भी khaki. Who wears full sleeve khaki and khaki pant and khaki button down shirt, full to full? I don't think I have really seen that. I've even seen blue and blue in the olden days. AR, people working for AR Rahman, probably part of the RSS, rigged something connected with D, or it could be a SAD. AR, RSS, SAD, IGD, RAG, IGD, RSS, SAD. Ragi, RSS, SAD. RAG, ID, SAD, RS. But that's what I said, no? I don't know if I said it before, but that's what I saw. But how does it connect to RSS? I don't understand. Das and Dasi are primarily bottom of the pyramid people who work at the bottom of the pyramid in other people's homes, probably, who also were part of the RSS, perhaps. The Gadi is very important. Our sad Ars Gardi. Now yesterday I watched War 2. वहाँ पे एक लड़का है जो शेप शिफ्ट लगता है, उसने किया है SRL के जगह पे. You know, when we watch something on TV, something sometimes gets triggered and we dream about it. I don't know why it happens, लेकिन होता है. Second thing that I noticed about the War 2 movie, nice star cast, a dead Hrithik Roshan, the original, क्योंकि ऋतिक रोशन एक्चुअली हमने उसका जो फॉर्म देखा है 2016 और 17, अ वेरी वेरी मेरिटियस आत्मा. ही इज़ वेरी हेल्दी इन हिज स्पिरिट फॉर्म. ही इज़ अबाउट 13, 14, 15 years old and he's filled with light. I said it before also. Later on he has slapped his sister. जो it doesn't make sense because he himself went out with Susan Khan, his childhood sweetheart, who is a Muslim. His older sister, he has slapped her because she was going out with some Muslim guy in later years. That is not according to his father. Is pretty well settled from before only, well known in the industry from his father's generation. तो given कि they are well known people, ऐसे petty mindedness तो होता ही नहीं है. Unless it's not a shapeshifter who was shapeshifting for him in those days. So anyway, let it be. That version of SRL was murdered in 1995 end is what I am told. My so-called, that 5-month so-called whatever happened at ISKCON temple, the registration, all that is fake. There were 10 people who shapeshifted at Ranka Park, and in that 5 month of a sham marriage is what I will call it. वहाँ पे जो Satan से जुड़ा हुआ है, one of the 10 shapeshifters is satanic. Now the point about the boy who used to every second weekend, meet me so that I can decide whether I'm going ahead or not going ahead in that situation. I think I'm getting married to JAYA.ADVANI's Bishop Cotton school friend, whose cousins have studied in Fort Convent with me. That's why I meet him, and it's a cotton world business in Bombay. We've gone to same school, same college, whether Bombay or Bangalore. We're all a bunch of cousins. तो हमको लगता है हम ऐसे किसी के साथ शादी कर रहे हैं, but actually that's not the case. That boy was murdered in 1995, I am told. But when he was going out with me, he used to say he likes giving lifts to boys in his car or girls who are street urchins, beggars. तो हम बोलूँ okay, all right, that's a nice thing to do. You say okay, I take you from this signal, I'll drop you at the next signal. I say okay, that's like kind of okay. But later on, I don't know, after I got married, I used to find, I'm not married, whatever that situation was, I used to find something is not okay in the entire setup, is just not feeling okay. Which is why in 5 months I left. Never to return ever. I would never have guessed in my life that there were shapeshifters at that time, more than one person for one dead man's identity. The other person who by then was already dead was Mr. R. Madhavan. The perpetrators shapeshift for Mr. R. Madhavan. They have shapeshifted for my dead cousin called Kabir Gupta. It is said that Kabir Gupta was murdered on the behest of the Fernandeses, Rosie Fernandez only, not even her children. 1999. So there's plenty of shape-shifting happening in everyone's homes. Be careful. Ultimately the snake and the frog is nothing. जो poisonous black snake है, वो actually वो perpetrators है जो इस country के है ही नहीं. They have been allowed to infiltrate over here. पूरे घर को जला देते हैं. Frankly telling you, they are toxic. They are badly behaved. You say, oh, the husband has had a bad day in the work, so you tolerate it. The father-in-law has had a bad day in the work. Okay, he's grown old. He's got his own tension. But actually what it is what is the man's ego like? When when the man gets married, what does the wife actually become? When the man is earning, who does he earn from? If he's the earn for, when he's the original, the man's ego is the most important. वो बहुत डेलिकेट होता है. जिससे वो शादी करता है वो उसका ईगो एक्सटेंशन बनती है. उसके बच्चे जो हैं वो उनके लिए काम करता है और उसके वाइफ को खुश रखने के लिए, उनके माँ बाप को खुश रखने के लिए वो काम करता है. अगर वो खुद को, वो उसके वाइफ को इंसल्ट करेगा, ही इज एक्चुअली इंसल्टिंग हिमसेल्फ. If he is badly behaved with the children, he is insulting himself if the man is original. But if the man is an infiltrator, he is there to destroy the family. He will be bad with pretty much everybody, and everyone will be making excuses why he is the way he is. Now, it's okay if only one person comes and shapeshifts for the dead man or the man taken underground. They have spread themselves, literally it says, to quite a high extent in India. Because the loophole had opened in 85. The Aadhaar card was made mandatory only in 2016. They primarily want to get back what they assume used to be theirs. It starts 20 centuries before this. So the point in the matter is, the Yuga started of Kali Yuga 550 centuries ago. 550 centuries before. Lots of things have happened in the last. You tell me, Krishna यहाँ से कब निकला था? Our scriptures say the last 5,300 years or something of that sort. When Krishna died and left, that is the time Kali Yuga started. If we think about it century wise, you say okay, 530, 550 centuries, in and around that one. 100 years is one century. Okay, you are good at maths, you do the maths. I am not good at maths, you do it yourself. No, लिख के करते हैं. Okay, having done the calculation according to with a pen and paper, लगता है 55 centuries है. In the 55 centuries, the last few centuries starting, she talked about Queen Anne's issue, her 16-17 children which because of influenza were not allowed to survive. I told you before, my maths is not good. हाँ, लेकिन हम ISI के स्पाई लग रहे हैं. हमारा जो दिमाग है बड़ा वह शार्प है. Don't keep using the word ISI on me in my home. Which version of Varsha, uncle? My sisters to murdered and dead. You know what the history of it is. There is a Muslim family, low income. Their daughter-in-law was murdered because she realized what was happening. She wanted to tell. Fernandez and D'Souza murdered her, is what I am told. Same time, they plugged Varsha out. File name Cat. Put her as the daughter-in-law in the low-income home after changing her face. She died over there and they murdered her. Same time, Salman Khan lost his life. They changed it to the SKF pad. All this is 2009-10 onwards, whatever I am talking about. This is even before that probably, or around that time. The stuff that has happened over there. ये एसपी जो है ये शापुर जी पालन जी. To sap is to take out the wealth of some place. To play sad. Fad and sad means वहाँ पे डांस ड्रामा एक्सटेंशन ऑफ योर सिनेमा इन रियल लाइफ. रियलिटी शो करके तुम्हारे क्राउड के लिए. SK is the original. SKF is 9 shapeshifters. SK का जो घर है SKF ने उसको बदल दिया इसको निकाल के. कनेक्शन पाकिस्तान से है या वो वैसे दिखाते हैं. Actually what they talk about is really what it is. Whatever they झंडा चढ़ा के बात करते जाओ, it really is that. The intrusion is from somewhere else. They rarely speak about it. When they have gone also to America, Tesla is looking like Tata. How come? If one small little place called क्या पंचवती गौरव, नासिक का जो क्या है चांदो कॉक ब्रांड बीडी वाला, that's how we know him when we are small. He's our neighbor. They have a big roaring business in Nasik. Their home is, it's a guest house. It's opposite my 9 New Marine Lines guest house. So we call him Cock Brand. He has Panchvati Gaurav and a big hotel somewhere in Nasik. Then he opens in Bombay also. अब somebody went and did something about ब्रांडिंग का कुछ है और नाम का जो एक ब्रांड है उसका कुछ है. अब वो पंचवती गौरव है, ये पंचवती गौरव. That is Tata and Tesla. For something that he found similar, he took those people to court. Panchvati Gaurav, the nephew. Now whether he is original or duplicate we don't know, क्योंकि बहुत कुछ ऊपर नीचे हुआ है घर घर के अंदर. जहाँ जहाँ पैसा है वहाँ वहाँ यू कैन बी श्योर इन्फिल्ट्रेटर आ चुका है. आंटी दे आर नॉट इंटरेस्टेड इन योर वैल्यूज़. तू नहीं करेगी उसका मतलब नहीं है जो तुमसे चोरी करना चाहता है. दे वॉन्ट टू वॉश आउट एंसेस्ट्रल लाइन्स. दे वॉन्ट टू ग्रैब. दे वॉन्ट टू टेक बैक वॉट यूज्ड टू बी देयर्स. दे आर इन्वेडर्स फ्रॉम वे बिफोर. दे आर नॉट इंटरेस्टेड इन योर थॉट प्रोसेस. दे जस्ट वॉन्ट टू ग्रैब. अभी यू वॉन्ट टू कम टू फेस विथ वॉट हैज़ हैपन, सो बी इट. अदरवाइज फाइनली जब टाइम बहुत बहुत लेट होता है उस टाइम पे यू कैन वेक अप इन योर लोका. ओके. ओके, आई डोंट नो. वन थिंग इट ऑल्सो स्ट्रक मी ओवर हियर. गड्डी जो होती है, गाड़ी होता है, सरदार जो है, सरदार पाव भाजी भी होता है जो ग्रांट रोड पे होता है. Grant Road connected with Kamatipura is a red light area. That's the point of reference when Ankur Patodia का जो shapeshifter है, he talks about Umang's wife giving birth to their daughter, but Umang being very busy in a dance bar, celebrating the birth of the daughter. That is in the year 1996, 1997. That only is actually a red light, as in a red flag. Not a red light, it is a red flag. क्योंकि मारवाड़ी इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट के घर ऐसे तो होता नहीं है. Backtrack it a little, we see the industrialist big bungalow, which the brown skinned thin guy is axing all the woodwork, very expensive stuff. But Mr. Rajnath Singh is seen in the kitchen with another man. And he is the witness of what this thin brown guy was doing, axing the entire woodwork of a very big bungalow. Was an entire family decimated and replicated in the Marwadi community or somebody amongst the Patodians? Point is, when it comes to Patodia and it comes to Ankur Patodia, he is so thin, so thin, so thin. He can shapeshift for anybody and anything. He is supposed to be suffering from bipolar disorder, depression, depressive maniac. He has given me the pamphlet of his doctor, what he explained about the disease to him from London. In a few years, from London, the Taylor family is introduced. They do seva at Puttaparthi's ashram, super speciality hospital. But whoever went to the super speciality hospital for treatment from my mom's network, all of them had lots of diseases later on which they just couldn't cure. All of them had some or the other skin disease which was uncurable. So anyway, was there a question of experimentation medically? Going to, when we are talking about Lord Krishna leaving from earth 5,500 years ago, making it not 550 yugas but 55 yugas. No, centuries, sorry. Not yugas, 55 centuries. So ever since the, let's say it went to the 3rd century, 2nd century, when Saint Samuel was there, then the next stop in the timeline was Queen Anne's timeline, which is 15th, 16th, 17th century, where none of her 16, 17 children were able to survive because of influenza. The biotech war is on the back of viruses merged with technology, the human brain merged with technology, cloning, which is again got to do with the medical sciences and medical research. Also, when you are fitting some, whenever you are fitting some genetics, re-engineering genetics, fitting the genetics into the baby or the fetus, or deciding the genetics of a fetus, disease and everything. All diseases are not a physical disease. Disease can be of the lung, but the disease can also be a mental disease with the brain. You have primarily, according to what I have understood based on all these years of reading that I have done, starting, let's say, end 2020, understanding it's not about me, understanding it is larger than me, it is something that is connected with events that have happened worldwide, stealth mode. Not just during this era, but taking it back to the earlier centuries also. My understanding is, from reading everything, if you mercilessly had research, medical research, and let's say there are viruses that come out, so you can then from another angle create the vaccines for it, or you want to change the course of destiny. Today you are talking, you want a classless society, you want a homogeneous society. World War I, World War II, you wanted manufacturing instead of hand labor. Many people were thrown out of their jobs, many of their sustenances went. Poverty has only increased. Life has become consumer driven, but on the back of it, every penny spent by the consumer in every new developing economy, which used to be a third world country, that kitty is in the hands of whom? The nation from a third world country develops into a developing nation and then a near developed nation before it goes bust. Everybody is an asset. Every economy that's not doing well becomes an asset. You allow the people to work. When they are earning, the GDP goes up. Profitability in the sense of a strong economy makes somebody very rich. On the back of the growth, he allows other people to work towards. And when he wants to collect his profits, everything goes bust. But those who are in the economy, who are working towards building things and they have great dreams, after all, no one's earning to feed that monster in the back who's forever churning money in and out of economies at his will, knowing the pattern of how economies actually make him rich when it is developing. So he doesn't care about the consequences of then taking the money out. How do you take money out? If there is a fifth richest man on, in a particular country, how do you make yourself rich? Will that man who is so influential actually allow you to take his money? After all, he has worked for it. No, you just very simply get rid of him and clone him. That's it. The key people who are with him, the board of directors, the managing directors, they are a small component of the pyramid compared to the wealth that you want to grab, created by the entire pyramid, because across all levels of his organization are all kinds of people from all levels of the pyramid. But to do that, how do you sap it? You got to create ill will amongst the people. Let them create the confusion and they will self-destruct themselves. When they are doing your work for free without realizing it, you very easily come do the little damage that is unseen while you are glorifying yourself, that also seen, unseen. And there goes the money. The management changes, the MDs change, some of the employees change. How can you say the company belongs to the same country where the founder created it? You to shifted it out of his name, stealth mode. When it comes to the गड्डी, सरदार पाव भाजी जो है कहाँ पे है? ग्रांट रोड. ग्रांट रोड के पीछे कहाँ है? Kamathipura is around over there. What happens in Grant Road? I don't know, you should know. This reading has come up on the back of what you sent me in my dream this morning. Something connected with 2 girls and 1 boy. The perpetrator you superimposed on me. I have told you before only, I have had boyfriends who are with me for 7 years. But somehow we just don't get down to the physicalities. I am more asexual. The boys I know are very decent also. Nobody has actually got an overdrive. Most of them probably come from good realms. Till you murdered them and replicated them, because there is a full list of my school friends and college friends who are no more. You can count them being networked amongst people who have resources. And that's who you affected. You actually affected all the who's who. And you disreputed them while you stole from them. In every house, I am pretty sure you have plugged a few duplicates. Replication of people, cloning of people, infiltration of people into India started 1985. The suggestion of the Aadhaar card in the Indian Parliament on the back of something that realized something was wrong without it reaching my ears. Because the people closest to me had already been murdered and replicated. That happened. The suggestion for the Aadhaar card started in 2003. But actually on the ground, when it came to people with money, their getting the Aadhaar card happened only maybe between 2010 and 2016. How much gap is there for the infiltrators to jump case when you know that now the gates are going to close? More so after 2009. Most damage probably done between 2009 to 2015 or 14. When it comes to things that are government, generally the rich feel, okay, we'll do it, I got to make money. पीछे करते हैं. जिनको पहले आधार चाहिए वो है अनऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर. जिनको एक प्रॉब्लम होता है पासपोर्ट मिलने, they are the first ones who will stand in line to get their Aadhaar cards done. But how many of that unorganized sector is actually infiltrators brought in by the perpetrator way before? How you can answer it? It is from amongst them that you have again shape-shifted them into the homes that were stolen from. Their kids put out on the street. But now how will you prove it? You have to put the biometrics onto fake IDs. And that's when the Aadhaar card came out. Now, one thing is very, very important. I was telling you about the what was I telling you about? I was telling you this new movie जो War 2 है. वहाँ पे लगता है जैसे एक आदमी ने बहुत सारे रोल्स किया है. One man, you have to check the eyes and you got to check the eyes and the lips and the paint on it. हमको लगता है एक आदमी ने चारों रोल किया है. You must check it out. You must look at it with I think you should look at it under the microscope. Contact lenses anyone can wear. I think you must look at it very closely. हमको तो लगता है one person has done all 4 roles. Four roles of 4 men. Hopefully not the woman's role. But you check it. That is your work to do. You better do it because this guy is the roaming free. He's not going to be leaving you. There is place only for one over here, number 1. Number 2, I don't know, you just check it. It is a mindset of having to have everything. SL, who has shapeshifted for dead SRL, is one of the shapeshifters there, I felt. But what is it? They're on a roster, they can't question anybody. So what timeline they are given, where they are placed, where they are plugged in, they go and do their job and move out. In the SRL case, where SL is one identity, but there are 10 people. Amongst the 10 people for one dead SRL, from a good background Sindhi household, the boy is though dead in 1995. The 10 people who have shapeshifted in his place, one of them was highly satanic. There's another one who gives kids a ride in the car from one signal to another. तो हाजी अली से अगर उसको उठाऊं तो ग्रांट रोड पे छोड़ूं, या हाजी अली से उसको उठाऊं तो तारदेव is probably few signals down the road. If you are going from Haji Ali to, or Worli or Haji Ali, and you're taking the car from the back road to that Grand Road side, Tardio. Actually, come to think of it, Haji Ali to that place is one straight road. There is, actually it is. So anyway, Darr SIS Gadi. Darr is SRK. Darr came out in which year? Darr movie came out with Sunny Deol and SRK in the year 1993. Dilwale Dulhania, which was a very big hit, that was 1995. So anyway, I checked, Darr movie was removed in 1993. Darr movie started it is released in 1993. DDLJ 1995. We will still ask. If we look over here, do we have Sarah? R.A. Gadi SIS SAD. In this time, they used to talk about Ari's wife wanting Kailash auntie to give the company car and driver to take her here and there, and my father, sister, whoever was playing the role used to say no. They have their own work to do, and we can't just give the car just like that. So there had been a little skirmish about that also. Then finally he got a car and driver after they moved into Ali Asgar Road. Then he gave her a car and a driver. But before it was a big deal because they used to request who we all thought was Kailash.ADVANI, now Mrs. Ritu Malia, as was in the 70s, but apparently something happened to her. And over there was some exchange. So if this is 93, then 93 though the real Mr. Ramesh Advani also I doubt was around. Because there's too much inconsistency in the behavioral patterns to be the original guy from the 70s. There's no continuity. I don't know if Adi Godrej had anybody called Sarah in his family or knew anybody called Sarah. Or is it that Bombay's major amount of real estate belongs to the Godrejes, is what I understand? That they have huge land parcels in Bombay. So is that what they're trying to say? The mills are very close. Ojo, your new Worli that you have, where all there is the redevelopment of the mills with skyscrapers coming up over there. How much of those land parcels belong to the Godrej people? Because I think they're probably trying to talk about the location. That's where Phoenix Mills came up. So whoever were the shapeshifters for SRL and Cotton World, वहाँ पे शॉप खोल दिया. That goes to 5 Point Garden, which connects to Panvel and to Cotton Green and Ray Road and Parel. अब सारा कौर तो सारा कौर है. She is from a family that is from the Sikh background. But what is her connect with Bombay? Was someone playing a drag queen over here? A boy pretending to be a girl? I'll have to check with the pendulum what this is all about. It is IAS, or what is it? IAS? Sarah shapeshifted for Satya Sai Baba's ashram? I don't think it is possible. You need to be very, very, very light on your feet and very thin. Okay, let's just see, because I have no clue of what this is all about. So I'll have to ask the pendulum if someone's willing to answer. Okay, so we give it a shot, because I'm not sure where this is heading. I'll have to just do guesswork and ask. The pendulum can do whatever it does to answer. Okay. Auntie, I'm not part of your entertainment industry. I'm not a drag queen. I'm not into the prostitution business. You already explained. I've had boyfriends for 6 years, 7 years. We don't go the physical way. We're not hot little bunnies needing to produce things all the time. We're friends. There is a lot out in the world other than, just hitting the sack. So I'm actually wired differently. And most decent boys also are wired decently. So I don't know. Hi, who's over here? Now, what I'm trying to understand, the person who was involved in what was shown to me in the dream, is that person still with you? I don't know how to address the person, simply because, well, I don't know what to say. I don't know the name. I don't know the situation. I'm only guessing. Okay, I'm only guessing. Are you taking this to the time of when the movie Darr was released? This is at the time when the movie Darr was released. That was the year 1993. Is Haji Ali involved in any way? Is Grant Road involved, or what do you call it? Grant Road or Tardev? Is that involved in any way? Was Nikhil Advani at that point in time shape-shifting and lending face to SRK by any chance? Stealth mode? Was Nikhil working for SRK in those years? Was NICKEL a shapeshifter for Nikhil Advani working for SRK in those years? If I can ask you one question, Sara over here is Sara Kaur. Are we talking about Akhil's partner called Sara Kaur? Because she's from a Sikh family. Are we talking about Sara Kaur and her sister? Was NICKEL ever shapeshifting as Sara Kaur, since we have the word drag, which means sometimes being a boy and sometimes being a girl, being able to play both things? Did they purposely get rid of Akhil Gupta in 1993? Bring in a fake Akhil Gupta who later gets married to a fake Sara? On the back of which Subhash Gupta was murdered in the year, you say, 2007? (2008) Mr. Subhash Gupta was murdered 2008, you say? On the back of which they stopped staying at God's Gift and moved, they just split ways. The couples decided to stay on their own. Kabir Gupta as Kabir Gupta, a false Kabir Gupta with a false Shamru Sharma, a false Akhil with a false Sara, a false Koshi Gupta with a false Subhash Gupta. Nitesh Gupta was false at that time. So actually surrounded by everybody is one original Nitesh Gupta, the original son of Kaushalya-ADVANI and Subhash Gupta. He is surrounded by all false entities. Otherwise, he is working at TCS. Has he started working for TCS? He has done his hotel management. He had to wait tables in, I don't know, Taj West End. That was done on purpose because he waited on tables where the real Subhash Gupta and Kaushalya-ADVANI's network in the golfing associations of Bangalore, well-off people in their network with all genuine, without no foul play, also used to eat in those restaurants. They purposely did this to Nitesh Gupta as an insult, which only they knew what they were doing. Shakuntala was involved. Fernandez was involved. Was Fernandez involved in any way? Was Sandra D'Souza's relatives involved? Her cousin brother, was he involved? Sandra D'Souza's cousin brother was playing Kabir Gupta by then. He was doing the role of Kabir Gupta in those years. He steals properties. He and Agnello Fernandez or Fernandez's, whoever the brothers are, they have a well machine between the two of them for murder, lies, disreputation, rape, and grabbing assets. They have some agents that look like they are from decent society who do the selling of large farmhouses, tea estates, holiday home bungalows in the hill stations or then a little away from the city. Those are all murdered people's properties, most of it, with stooges placed in those properties till the time the property sells and there's no one really to claim the money. The stooge takes a little and the rest of it is grabbed by who? That's been the modus operandi all these years from the 90s, including United Breweries, UB City's creation. Same modus operandi. Okay, what I'm trying to understand also over here, you showed me three people, arse in the air, two girls and one boy. The perpetrator you put on me, that's so cheap. But anyway, whatever it is, it looked like a sexual assault of some kind, I'm not sure. What I noticed in the entire thing was primarily what are these people wearing? They're wearing full pant khaki and full pant, full sleeves khaki. But were you on some sets or something wearing that? Was that like some dress up for something? Tell me something. You have said something about VKA. VKA is my actual sister. Varsha Kanyalal Hukumatrai Gurmukdas Advani is actually my sister. By DNA, born in the 1975. She's 2.5 years younger than I am. Was she actually acting in these places and being part of all this? Varsha was in Bangalore playing Ritu Malia during that time. In and around this time, Varsha also got CRISPR'd out of being Ritu Malia, brain controlled and sent somewhere else. Varsha ended up on the streets, thrown out of her own assets at Bombay. Did she remember she's Varsha.ADVANI when this happened to her? She had any clue that she's the real Varsha.ADVANI? Did she look anything like Varsha.ADVANI? Did her identity change to Rupa, who worked at Times of India, ever? Did Varsha.ADVANI end up becoming Rupa? Varsha.ADVANI got CRISPR to look like Rupa, who worked with me in Times of India for a little while, sitting behind me. Are you sure? But then I was shown Rupa with a very nice man with 2 children in a very old Bombay style house, the Gujarati way. But over there, the man she was with, his face got merged with Tony Fernandez's face, but it is all fair. So how do I understand the situation? I cannot understand. I don't know how to make sense of it. Now tell me one thing, since you have spoken about, I don't know, it is talking about sad arse. Are you saying the boy who can play a girl also, being Nickell, was he a perpetrator? He was at the receiving end of somebody else's misdemeanor in the course of his upbringing? Was SRL ever misbehaving? The original SRL used to ever misbehave with, let's say, underage kids, because SRL was murdered only in 1995 end, whereas this timeline is 1993. So 93 to 94, 94 to 95, there's about 2 years, 2.5 years in between. There's a good 2 years where, it is possible, we don't know, anything can happen with anybody. So was Mr. SRL, the original Cotton World boy, was he involved in any of the misdemeanor that is mentioned? The boy who is shown shape-shifting for Hrithik Roshan, who I understand is no more. Mr. NTR also is no more. Mr. NTR is no more. Is he still in the human body on earth? NTR. Was he put out CRISPR'd as a common man where he didn't remember who he was in between? From the time RRR released? What is it? Recently they got rid of him from the body? Since the reading caught that he had been pulled off from RRR time? Put out as a common man? They got rid of him? Aarti Nanthur through? She has left the body and gone? Our cousin, real cousin. Half Nanthur and half the real Aarti Nanthur, half Sadrangani and half Nanthur. Born to Nina Masi and Arun uncle. Has she left the human body and gone? Was she CRISPR'd in between beyond recognition and put out on the streets as a temporary in-between stop? Is she still CRISPR'd and in her body on earth? Arun uncle and Nina Masi's daughter, is she still CRISPR'd and kept somewhere beyond recognition? Have they played her E.T. in my home? Have they played her E.T. voice at my home? So I'm asking whoever was standing in for NTR, now in War 2 movie, and whoever was standing over there, I recognize somebody who shapeshifted for SRL also, as shapeshifting for Hrithik Roshan. Are those the perpetrators in Bombay who are involved in all this stuff connected with the Darr movie and whatever I got and whatever you showed me in my sleep? Was it triggered by War 2 movie? Whatever I saw in my sleep. Because they are the perpetrators. Amongst the 5 characters in War 2 movie, there are 4 men, 1 woman. Amongst them are the perpetrators. Keeping the original stars aside, the shapeshifters for War 2, Hrithik Roshan's identity. Dead Hrithik Roshan's identity. Because I have seen him, I told you, I saw his aura and whatever in deep sleep. As a 15-16-year-old boy, very, very well, healthy and a very lit being. So it's one of the shapeshifters for him. That person shapeshifted for NTR too. He shapeshifted for the villain also, who dies middle of the movie. What about Mr. Anil Kapoor's role? Wo 7 Din wala man is still alive? Mr. Anil Kapoor, who worked in both Wo 7 Din, his earlier movies, is he still in his human body? Did he act with Reena Roy in Wo 7 Din? You don't know? Okay, let it be. He was with Padmini Kolhapuri in that movie. A lady called Padmini Kolhapuri. So is the man who worked in Wo Saath Din, is he still in his human body? He was married. The man who worked in Wo Saath Din, is he the father of Sonam Kapoor? Was he married to a Hingorani girl called Sunita Hingorani? I don't know, I could have it wrong also, but still. Was he married to somebody who was from the Hingorani family? The Hingoranis being JAYA.ADVANI's first husband's side in-laws. All that is okay. So that man who she got married to, is he still in the human body? Tell me, those who shapeshifted in War 2 movie for Hrithik Roshan and NTR and the villain, and for Mr. Anil Kapoor, are these people involved? They shapeshifted also in Ranka Park ever? Or in that 5-month cheap setup that happened in 2002? Did the same bunch shapeshift in and out of that setup? So indirectly, are they connected to Rosie Fernandez's network and D'Souza's network? Railroad and Cotton Green in some way? They're primarily connected to that network. They replicate people. They shapeshift in and out of homes. They're involved in murder. Then they grab the assets of the leftover family members, pretending to be the dead man or then the man or the woman taken underground. So there's a lot of stealing involved. Amongst them, there is someone who's satanic. He was there as one of the 10 shapeshifters. Did he show his face in War 2 movie 2? The guy was behind Hrithik's face. No, he was not behind Hrithik's face. As in, was he shapeshifting for Hrithik in the movie War 2? The satanic guy? Now, the best concept about the movie is there is a group that they have gone and put out as Kali, laying blame on Pakistan, China, India, Myanmar, Nepal, Bhutan. I don't even remember what all it is. But the point is, they're trying to put into the minds of people that India's neighbors are the perpetrator. I beg to differ. What I've understood is this is the work of actually something from the Middle East that's got the money, infiltrated by the same outsiders, probably affecting Dubai first, or the Kingdom of Dubai and Saudi first, plugging in their replicas, access to huge amount of research and money, hiring maybe Pakistanis for some criminal activity, but keeping them on tenterhooks most times for short payments, small payments. At the same time, having plugged some people from maybe Azerbaijan, Kurdistan, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Turkmenistan, that kind of place, they have hired some people who have done the shape shifting. But the money is splashed from the Middle East. whatever gets sucked out of any country, whether it's India, whether it's Europe, whether it is America, which is now in the process of depletion. Of course, Russia also, Vladimir Putin was murdered ages ago, and apparently there are 10 who are shape-shifting for Vladimir Putin. And they cannot be trusted, not even a slightest bit. Actually, their real skin color is dark. Then Varsha, my sister JAYA.ADVANI was born Snow White. The Varsha you bloody fucking talking about is not my Varsha. Don't you dare take her name. My sister was murdered, raped, put into a low-income household. That also far away in Panvel, where we don't go. Thanks to you. So your Varsha is nothing but an accomplice to crime. Don't mix it with my setup. तो तेरी वर्षा जो है शेप शिफ्ट पुतिन के लिए करी है, एक्चुअली वो उसका स्किन कलर बाय बर्थ बहुत डार्क है, तो वो मेरी वर्षा नहीं है. JAYA.ADVANI was born Snow White. And we don't come from a family where we shape shift for other people. जो कुछ भी हमारा है हमको जन्म से मिलता है. हमको चोरी और दूसरे के आइडेंटिटी, हमारे खुद के एंसेस्ट्री को लात लगा के दूसरे के एंसेस्ट्री के अंदर, इट इज नॉट अलाउड. व्हाट्स रॉन्ग विथ यू? वी weren't brought up on the bloody streets. तुमने हमारे फैमिली को इन्फिल्ट्रेट किया है, हमारे रिसोर्सेज का तुमने चोरी किया है, और अच्छे अच्छे लोगों का तुमने हत्या किया है, रेप्लिका बना बना के. You thought you got rid of me and exchanged me for somebody from the low income in 2007. Somebody threw wool in your eyes, and that's good. You woke up only in 2022 when that passport and Aadhaar card was done. Since then, you brought in all the shapeshifters over here, 10 of them. On the back of it, what happened with JAYA.ADVANI, because one of the girls who worked as a maid over here, 2023-2024 has shape-shifted in the low-income Muslim household in Panvel after Varsha was done away with. Their own daughter-in-law was murdered. Varsha was plugged over there. Then she was murdered and removed. Then this girl was shape-shifting for her. This is how you took her identity and clubbed it with Varsha's identity. But there's no connection. None whatsoever. हाँ, काली कौवा जाके पुतिन बने तो वो कटरीना क्यों नहीं बन सकती है, करीना क्यों नहीं काम कर सकती है, लेकिन ओरिजिनल जो जन्म से आ गए हैं वो कहाँ हैं? Where are they? You play filthy games, you make everybody a mess. On the back of it, you extract the money and you take it where? To the Middle East, Iran. While your shapeshifters are having a good time in bars and pubs, watching the mess they have created over here, and they run off and are enjoying themselves where? Don't bloody play sounds in my body. When God's given hands, ऐसे करते हैं. क्या चूहा बन के आवाज हमें बॉडी के अंदर क्या कर रहा है? Bloody hell. So all this started in 1993. What homo behavior also started at that time. It was practiced what? On street children. It was brought into India how? Or into Bombay from where? From the infiltrators of those days, pretending to be, they were youngsters in those days. They came to India with the mission of getting rid of the young entrepreneurial crowd and bringing in their own infiltrators at various levels in the Indian diaspora, in the Indian social network. They were commissioned by somebody with a lot of money outside the country Is that what happened? This cloning is what? An Indian issue? Has it been grown in India only? This face replication and duplicate 10 people with one face on one bloody identity is what? An Indian issue? Is it the Indian researchers and medical faculty that has done this shit? It is a Middle East issue. European issue. This research comes from where? Europe? Russia? ये जो रिसर्च है कहाँ से आता है? रशिया से आता है? No, tell the truth. Russia is responsible for this. That means what? That Kyrgyzstan and Azerbaijan and that Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan and Turkestan, whatever it's called, Kurdistan and all, run by Russia. ये cloning जो है, cracking the cloning code of human beings and the genetic messing around is the work of whom, Varsha? The medical research was done by whom? Who are the scientists behind this? From which country, can you tell me? Russia? The scientists are what? From Russia? America? Middle East? The money was paid by whom? Can you tell me? The money for this research came from whom? Can you tell me? The money for this research was spent for by whom? The Illuminati? Can you call... No. Do they call themselves the Illuminati? The money spent for the research was done by whom? The Illuminati? That means what? A consortium of countries that come together? They found India what? A place which is very abundant and too spiritual for their liking. So the anti-god got wild. Also, India has too much trust amongst its own people. It's got a lot of diversity over here. So did it become a good playground with lots of loopholes in the legalities and a very diverse crowd? Did this become a playground for then the anti-god? The anti-god is part of the Illuminati. Does he actually stand in for the... Does he come and go from the Illuminati? He comes and goes from the Illuminati? Is he by birth Illuminati worthy? Did he over the years grab the position? Was he born in some high class society to be part of the Illuminati? Did he shapeshift his way into the Illuminati? Did his predecessors shapeshift their way into the Illuminati, darling? Does this go back a couple of centuries before this century? Is that what you're trying to say? That something should have been the Illuminati. So if I can ask you in very simple terms, England and Scotland. You gave me an example of Queen Anne. Her 16-17 children were not allowed to survive on the back of what they call the disease or the disease of influenza. If there is no heir to a throne and there is only a couple who are devout or then they're too conservative in their religious thoughts, which actually goes against the newly formed Illuminati, how they are evolving but moving more and more towards the realms of the beast and moving away from the heavenly realms. So they become like sore thumbs for those who see no point in being attached to the heavens, and they need to move towards the lower realms and yet stay as the influencers, but connected with characteristics, vasanas, connected with, like, say, the lower realms. So, are you saying over a period of time when naturally born influencers in the Illuminati or the Royal Society worldwide, under various pretexts, they were removed, replaced by systems, or then replaced by people who were more attuned to the lower realms or a lower realm thinking, or then you can say the Atmas from the lower realms. So, were they actually scouting, like what Ritu Malia 1998 tells me? She wants to see people who are hungry for money, willing to do anything for money, who love money the most. Then she tells me you can't be that righteous, and so then decides I'm like useless to anything. I've been called hopeless and useless even when I'm in the 9th standard, 10th standard, 12th, 13th standard. Primarily because I suppose my ways are too boring and they don't fall in line with the new age thinking. So, are you saying that when it came to the Illuminati from the 15th, 16th century sometime, maybe even earlier than that, because you took it to Saint Samuel, who was a very strict conservative saint in the 2nd, 3rd century, a move away from, let's just say, actual conservative thinking when it comes to religion, moving away from it towards alternate ways of thinking, and then in the royal lines by birth, if someone seems to be a sore thumb, where the majority of the Illuminati is moving towards things of the lower realm, they need to create some kind of an excuse to get rid of a particular line of people. And that's what they've been diligently been doing. And the excuse could be just about anything. The style of, getting rid of somebody could be just about anything. Primarily, they want to decimate anything that is connected with the higher realms so that they can rule on earth through the lower realms. Okay, so you're saying somebody in the course of time from the 15th, 16th century to today, considered to be highly influential and part of the Illuminati, is responsible for spending the money on the cloning. That means they have a lot of money. That money is stolen wealth on the back of developing economies and then busting them and retracting all the ROI on it, calling it retraction of the ROI. What? Repatriation. But on the back of which Japan happened. First it's great in electronics, then it goes bust. Then after that is what? India. The India story. Now it's the South Africa story. But haven't you realized one thing? Anywhere where you introduce, in a developing or a third world country, you introduce consumerism, when people spend their hard-earned money on consumerism, whether it is consumables, perishables, or then white goods, or then on a lifestyle, all those companies, if you got rid of all the management that actually built those companies, then the center point of all that money, highest amount of profit sharing goes back where? To which center point? The India story got over some time ago. Even when it comes to artificial intelligence and technology, I have a feeling whoever worked towards it, the Epstein case is that only. You wanted to get rid of the technology, you wanted to get rid of people who did all the hard work supporting you. Then you got rid of so many people. You have been so shameless. You have put out on the internet. What? Should I just show it directly? What you've done? Shamelessly? So I was talking about this. Now these are all people who are trillionaires or billionaires who have done their own hard work and contributed to technology in some way or the other, built big businesses. You see who are all the faces here. This also looks like either Jayashankar's, like he can shapeshift for Jayashankar, or he can shapeshift this one. He can shapeshift for Jayashankar or SRK. This one. He's calling himself CIA. I do doubt it. So here there are plenty of people. This is supposed to be Elon Musk. He looks very different from the Elon you see today. Like this, there are so many people connected with technology, I feel. I say if these guys were alive, they would have probably taken these guys to court and sued them. Since no one's talking, and this is supposed to be page 6 and New York something, I say these guys have been removed, stealth mode and replicated. That is why they have dared to do this. The other people here is Mark Zuckerberg, then a lady with white and black hair who I don't recognize, an elderly person who's kind of bald, and I don't know who these people are, but I just say whoever's face is out in this video, in all probability are no more in their human form. They got shapeshifters for them. I don't think any of the originals are actually on Earth. Yet most of them are actually connected with technology one way or the other, or e-commerce in some way or the other. That's Mr. Bezos's mask on the far end at the back. This is Elon on the side. If you recognize any of them, figure it out. I don't think these people, the original founders, are in their human body anymore. That's why they have done this. You know, I saw Adi Shankaracharya also, and the Gati when it comes to Adi Shankaracharya. But you know, the word Gati is G-A-T-T-I. It's not G-A-D-I. Gada जो होता है वो also होता है. Gada means the mattress. Gada, Gadi. Artificial intelligence is playing a role in here with the RSS in some place. They'll have to make sense of it themselves. If we think about Adi Shankaracharya, but I don't think, because it's not really saying that. How do we get a word called gracia over here? doctor from maybe a country where Gracia is the word used. Over there is D who is pretend to be the doctor. Also, we have the name Sid. Grass gives you little hallucination. So Charmaine Dias, why is she showing over here? So Charmaine Dias is what I was shown. Okay, I think my battery has gone low. But the point is, Charmaine Dias I was shown as somebody who was messed around with this bunch of shapeshifters who have presented themselves, their network presented themselves in Shefali Rane's marriage too. I think they messed with Charmaine Dias also. Was it Charmaine Dias? Rachel Dias. How stupid I am. Rachel Dias, Red House from my school. They're saying the same thing happened with her in some way, but she went away abroad. Something of that sort. I'm not sure if I understood it right or wrong. Only she would know what is what. The one thing that we must always think is in her father's shop in Kulaba. A same lady with a dark skin, like Rosie Fernandez looks that way, but more pleasant looking. Then at Dr. Singhal's office, there was a receptionist who looks closer to the woman who used to sit in Rachel Dias's father's shop in Kulava Causeway. They look similar. So there's something connected with that. Now, did they create financial problems for her, or did they grab her father's shop? Because that father's shop and their Niagara apartments, if they sold it, not stole it, sold it. That shop would be pretty expensive and they'd get a good amount for it, and then Niagara also would be worth a lot. So did you go and steal from them? What I've understood about this bunch of people who rape people, even maritally getting in and out of marriages, shape-shifting, 10 useless people, and that network is pretty huge. You get the newly wedded bride to sign some papers connected with her financials saying you are investing something in her name. It could just be a fucking life insurance. Once you have got that identity attached to you, you start messing around with her household, father's properties, and their equity. This is what you have done, and you go clubbing yourself, joining yourself on your own fucking cheap network, which silently you have been recording things against the owners and taking away assets from the owners itself and moving it to God only knows where. I don't know whether they involved some IG also and some RSS into the matter. No clue. Now this is what is very, very sad, because this is what I really don't like to read. But I just have to, because I don't know. AG is Akhil Gupta. He was murdered. Dice is 1.5 years older than him. Akhil Gupta would not know Rachel Dice from anywhere. No chance of it. I have a feeling the ones who got rid of Dice, messed with Dice in some way, murdered Akhil Gupta for sure, messed with the RSS, because it is coming on the identity of Fernandez in various ways. For a lot of the stealth mode, getting rid of people, wearing the ego, wearing the ET, as shameless as when it comes to the Enforcement Directorate, then the bones being chucked of IGs, ATS, RSS, wearing the egos of the RSS and the ATS. Well, that's what my previous reads have gone on saying. He is to no more. He was murdered in 1993, they say. They say his mother in 1998 was removed from their home at 190 Sankey Road. I don't know whether his own mother broke the wooden ruler on his leg, or it was somebody else. The pretext being that he is failing his exam or he is not studying. Then I think she said, stick like him, even taking a stick and hits. So that Shakuntala has got what? A 5-year-old child, or a 6-year-old child, or a 7-year-old child, and a little baby called Varsha, who's 2.5 years, my junior. The maid who's working in my home has to take us for a bath. My mother's very strict. My daddy's not at home. My mother's very strict, so the truth of the matter is Varsha and I are very quiet people. My dad also is a very no-nonsense guy. So yes is a yes, no is a no. There's no question of arguing. You tell me one thing. If she's taking Varsha and me for a bath in my grandmother's bathroom, where is the point of actually arguing with her? Yet she has beaten me up in the bathroom and giving me a bath. What triggered her to hit me in the bathroom? Where was the argument that she should hit me? Her name is Shakuntala. She's hired for a job for doing a job. She knows what she has come to do. She's getting a salary for it. Where is the question of hitting young kids? What could have happened that could trigger her to hit us? Our own parents are very strict. If that was not you staging a show for your network, then I don't know what it was. And if RSS is involved, RSS should then actually confess what all it has contributed to. Because you know what? At the end of the day, you don't know how many people in India have been murdered and replaced. Their kids thrown out on the streets. They're the ones who made the money to put even one thread, to put even one tent, one shanty. You need the business class. They're the ones these guys have stolen from. That they're not planning to let go of their claws anytime soon. Now also one thing you need to think very clearly. If they have been promising people of lots of rewards, but they are not planning to deliver, the poor men who has done the work is going to react how? And if that is 40% of the world population, whoever has done the work, they're planning to get rid of them in some way. But then there are some people who just want what is theirs. They've done the work for it. How do you equate a hungry, starving man or somebody who's from a low income? How would you look at him if you were to equate him with different kinds of, let's just say, taking it from the farm animal, pets at home, to predatory animals both in the zoo or then in the wild? Where would you put a man who feels like he has done all his work, he's been promised a lot, but there are no deliverables? What they have promised him, they're not going to give him. But he knows he's done all the work. With him are criminal organizations, extensions into the Naxals, Maoists, militants, and what else? How would you equate that lot? Would they be like predatory wild animals, really angry that they've done all the work, but now whatever's been told to them that are their deliverables, that doesn't be paid to them? In fact, money stops to them, and their own people are being murdered stealth mode, they don't even know how. Would you equate them then to wild animals who are predatory in the jungle? Now, how do you control them? They have the right to ask. They've done the work. But how do you now control them? If you go and murder them openly, there will be a world war. Or there will be lots of burning down of things. So can you afford it? Yet you have taken money, you've taken work from them. You have got lots of work done from them. Your deliverables to them are near non-existent. So how are they going to behave? How do you control them? It's called mind control. Your microchips are for that only. You know exactly who you have used in which way. You know exactly who you have stealth mode murdered. You know who you have stealth mode replicated. You know what your next work of action is going to be. It's called mind control. So let's hope no foolish being on earth with even half their senses intact actually allows you to be successful with your plan. You are no Illuminati. There's nothing about you that's even, let's just say, 0.000001 illuminated. Now, I don't know if some doctor from the RSS shapeshifted and took over Akhil Gupta's assets at some point in time. Or rag rate, or he aided them. AIG's got to do with the insurance. He insures them and what does in research and development medically on them. What you do? You take out insurance on people who are poor. Then you fit them with devices without their knowledge for experimentation for the convergence of technology with human beings, or then genetic re-engineering plugged with what? Mental issues. or some other issues connected with the genomes re-engineering, then somebody loses it in their mind. They're called mad, but actually this is what is, it is research and development for medical sciences, and they're just a pawn on the chessboard, so easily done away with. You're illuminated, is it? From which side of the tunnel can you tell me? It's like a dead end. For a tunnel, you need to come out into the light, but you're like an absolute black hole and a dead end. So, Shah Rukh's sister Lala Rukh Khan, there's something, I don't know what it is, with her as well as Amir Khan's brother. They both have had the same accusations hurled their way. Amir Khan comes from a well-established family from his uncle's time. So he was already, his family was already well known in the film industry before Amir Khan came on the scene. So his debut was actually a nice one. From within his family he gets launched. But then that's what the Illuminati hates. They always like to play God. Making and breaking at will. Completely anti-God. So he has another brother. He wanted to go away because maybe he found the toxicity too high. He wanted to go away and kind of live a more quiet farm life somewhere in the somewhere far away. More, simple, easier living. Did you CRISPR him and send him off and put that out into the news? Or what did you do with him? Shah Rukh Khan's sister Lala Rukh Khan also, they have their own things to say about her. So what is the connection of the Dr. Darr and the insurance of the sister? Because that insurance is so that you can do R&D on the brain, or you can do R&D on the personality, or you can do R&D on the genomes or the genetics, and then see behavioral changes or behavioral patterns, or then convergence of the neural link to other people's neural links. You like exchanging neural links, right? But if you were born in a good neural link, why would you want to exchange it anyway? When you do this R&D, you never take permission. You only steal. And you make plenty of excuses of why it is justified. That's another truth about you. When I went to do my MBA in QUT, it wasn't your grandpop's money that gave me the money. It was my father's business add-on money. You exchanged my neural link with some shit and kept me on a back foot simply because you don't like my grandpop's ancestry. You want to play God desperately? What is it? This is the only lifetime you get a chance to wear many caps. The rest of us go to good lokas whenever we feel like, and get the permission to reincarnate on earth in some good birth or the other. You don't have that option. You are going to a shithole. It's called Nark. It's called Patal. You got this one lifetime to make the most of it. So you bloody well make the most of it. So you'll keep grabbing things belonging to others and having the experience of it. A taste of everything. A bit of everything. It all ends for you in this one lifetime. After which you are not getting out of the hellhole you come from. Is that why you are the way you are? Why is everybody else not like you? Why everyone is happy to come into their birth, wait their turn, go back into the afterlife where they are probably given the shitty bloody fucking energy on earth. Because 40% of it is from Nark Patal. Why is the rest of everybody else happy to live their life? They finish it, they go home, they rejoin with their friends, family in the higher realms, spend some time there, and if it is time to return or they want to return, they can return in a decent life. How come they don't need to grab the way you do it? How come they don't manipulate the way you do it? How come you need to jam everything into one birth? That's because of the realm you come from. You know this is your only chance. And you're actually a 5% mark sheet. Whereas the pass mark is 40%. You know the gap is so huge, no matter what you do, you will never pass it. So you play truant, the way you have played it all these years. So there are plenty of lies involved. It is primarily to grab assets. They are not from India. I am telling you a zillion times. They have created a mess over here. You take it from 93 and you see where we are at today. 93 to 2003 to 13 to 23 is 30 years. But my reading is saying my own family, the first daughter-in-law, called Suchitra JAYA.ADVANI, was murdered and replaced in 1986. This is starting in 1993. So you've given them a bloody fucking free ride for 40 fucking years. At the behest of whom? That means what happened to all the Birlas and I don't know what all the families that were moneyed habitually, and it passes the way it's supposed to, from great-grandfather to son to grandson to great-grandson, and so on and so forth. What have you done in the process? What have you helped happen? You dare to call it, no, with who? Your hard work. Your salary comes from the business class. How you can decide? Wherever you people have stolen from, you have spat over there only. And I'm just telling these people who are so-called influencers in society, whether you are soft suggesting things, and if it is lies, and in fact those people who contributed to the economy of the nation you are supposed to be living at, earning your own damn fucking money on the back of the same people you don't like, or you have been backstabbing, then you're going to narc. Even Yudhishthira couldn't get away with half a lie, no matter how he packaged it. He didn't half lie. He said the full truth half under his breath. So when through you are making suggestions, surrogate style, about, and again falsely accusing people, just again we are coming into an election, again you need to play filthy. You can't earn it on your own. You're starving and hungry for the trillion. You can't earn it. क्या है? Once you get out of your body, you're a bhikhari in rags at narc. This is your last chance you can have a breather. इसके बाद it's over for you. That's the problem. So even if you suggest something that is actually not the truth, perpetrator, no matter how you dress it up, oh so innocent, you're in for a very tough time once you're out of here. You understood? Do your research properly before you do anything. तुम्हारा काम था पहले सॉर्टिंग. अगर किसी को पुल ऑफ द ग्रिड किया है, उसके एसेट्स का पता नहीं धज्जिया उज्जिया कर करके कितना वहां से साइफन करके बाहर गांव लेके गए हैं. You still blaming people who actually built something to make this country proud? You still blaming them? Who will spare you in the afterlife? There is some RAR files also. We keep getting it. I don't know whether they said it is D's RAR or they aid the RAR from D. Not sure. So Sarah was married to Akhil Gupta, except that Akhil Gupta was no more in 1993. Sarah, they're saying, is actually sometimes man, woman, NICKEL. Let me ask if I can close this. Hi, is it okay to close this reading? You said what you wanted to say. You were not able to say what you had to say. There's more to this. This Scrabble that I've thrown, is it connected to the dream that you sent me this morning? First, I'm trying to understand that. This is connected to the dream you sent me. The perpetrator is still alive. Was the perpetrator in War 2 movie? Is that what you're trying to bring to my notice? You are either the boy or the two girls. All of you are no more in the human body. The boy is no more in the human body. Both girls are still in the human body. They would recognize this situation if they ever saw this video. I don't know if they'd ever be able to see the video, but would they recognize the situation? You're bringing it to their notice that the guy who did this situation with 3 of you is shape-shifting in the War movie. That's what you're trying to tell me through this pendulum and through that video. I mean, whatever you sent me in the sleep, whatever I saw, that's what you're trying to say. So I hope those girls see it, whoever whoever was with you at that point in time. I hope they see it and I hope they make sense of whatever I'm saying. What I noticed is that it is one person who played Hrithik Roshan as well as NTR as well as the villain. I'm not sure whether the same person played also Anil Kapoor at some point in time. In Hrithik Roshan's face, I noticed at some point in time somebody who shapeshifted for dead SRL in 2002. That's the only thing I realized and the only thing I noticed. I didn't see it in anybody else's face. I couldn't make out. Other than seeing the shape of the lips and then how it is painted to give the lip shape different shapes, and maybe the eyes too, or the prosthetics, I just felt that it is one person who's doing 2 roles, 3 roles, or all 4 roles, or something of that sort. It's not what it seems. So anyway, can I close this session over here now? I wanted to know, is my cousin Kabir Gupta around over here? He's still hanging out with his mom and his dad and his dada dadi or his nana nani, who are my dada dadi. They're still hanging out together. They were in Bhuvarloka. They're still having fun together in the Bhuvarloka. My mom is over here. Varsha, file name cat, you are here. Varsha.ADVANI. Okay, so you all are here. Okay. Kabir is planning to come back soon. Kabir Gupta is coming back soon. Acha, 1 minute. That War 2 movie, they dared to take the name Kabir, who's our cousin brother. And the other name they gave Vikram's name. Now Vikram is what? Kabir's mother's friend called Vikram Lulla, Vicky Lulla. Or the other one is Pushpa Kalsi's son, who also has a similar name, connected with Nikhil Advani as well as Kabir Gupta, and the individual mothers and fathers, and Ramesh Advani too. So this guy is poaching left, right, center. According to my understanding, he has created such a mess. Bombay to Bangalore, to Chennai, to Calcutta, and must be Delhi too. Just on the back of shape-shifting and his cheap network of stealers and liars. They're daring to call him an Indian Army recruit. Is Indian Army? Has he screwed the Indian Army over like they don't even know what's happening with them? Is he a contributor to actually messing up India's police as well as law and order situation, as well as messing with the Indian military? If I can put it very bluntly, all the way into the Indian Parliament, messed all the hard work done all these years from 1947, and then the prosperity, let's say up to 1995 or 93. Did he come to just mess it all up? Khush raho. When you are not accepting that cloning has happened in this country from 1985-86, that's why we had the bloody biometrics. In 2006, they were very happy that with the stem cell, you can just keep cloning exact replica. What does that mean for actually your biometrics? Why was it stalled for so long? You answer it yourself. After all, you don't make the money. Those who did make the money on the back of commerce, salaries, and highly paid professionals, their wealth is actually the knowledge and ability and the skill. All that you have drained out. That also stealth mode. So what do we have left over here? You figure it out and answer it on your own. I am closing this for now.